In this lecture, we're going to go over the first tool within the field characterization tool set, and that is the by field slope statistics. All right, so to get to this, we're going to go to our ACPF toolbox, open up field characterization, and it is the first tool. When we open it, we see that we have 3 inputs and 2 outputs. The inputs for this are field boundary feature class, the unfilled DEM, that'll be our new DEM, and the Z factor. So the field boundary is right here. I'll give it some color on the screen behind so you can get an idea of what it looks like. It's all those boxes in yellow. Our unfilled DEM is this new DEM, and our Z factor 0.01. The outputs include a slope table and then a slope roster. And we hit OK. Okay, so the slope tool has just finished running, and we can see that a slope roster has been generated, and that is the background that we see here. And we also got a slope table. You can open this up and take a look at it. And you can see that it also contains the field boundary ID number that'll be useful when we join it to the field boundary feature class. We got mean slope, the 75th percentile slope, and then these classes all along here show that the percent slope that was, in this case, less than 1%, between 1 and 2, between 2 and 5, and so on all the way to greater than 15%. And this will be percent of the field that is characterized within these. So we have our slope roster here, and it's kind of hard to see what's going on. So we'll go into the properties and symbology and add some color to it. And we'll come down here and do from current display extent, which will help when we're panning around our watershed. And it makes more sense to me to have low slopes in green, so I'm going to invert that color ramp. Alright, so the slope roster will be very handy for understanding where steeper slopes are or where low-lying areas are that may be susceptible to things like hill erosion or flooding based on how the slope characteristics are within a field. You can see that a lot of the high slopes tend to occur around roadways and streams where there are ditches or steeper banks, which makes sense. And then within a field, the more we pan, this ramp is going to change since it's from current display extent. We can get an idea of within this field where the steeper slopes are occurring and where the lower parts where maybe flow might concentrate within here are. So it's very handy for visualization, but also for understanding at-risk areas within your watershed. Okay, so in order to visualize slope by field, we're going to have to perform a join and then edit the symbology. So I'm going to turn off my slope roster for right now. And how we can do a join is by right-clicking on the field boundary feature class, go to joins and relates, join, slope table already pops up there, and we'll be joining by that field boundary ID, which was within both the feature class and the table, and we hit OK. Then we can go into the properties, go to symbology, and let's go to quantities. And I would like to visualize by the 75th percentile slope. So I hit that. I'm going to give it this. We can see our slope values there. And once we hit apply and OK, we get an idea of how the watershed is characterized by slope by field. So we can see we have some of our steeper sloped fields here in yellow, a couple in orange further down here. But for the most part along this watershed, we have fairly low to moderate sloping fields. Here's a brief recap on how to get your slope table, your slope roster, and how to visualize slope by field.